my name's Maureen McGuire, and I was at Glasgow University in the early 70s, 70 to 74. And then I went and joined IBM, and I had a whole career in IBM in marketing, and I stayed with IBM for 30 years. Then I left IBM and became Chief Marketing Officer at Sears Holdings in Chicago. I forgot to mention that during the time I was at IBM, I lived in Paris and New York and in London, but most of the time I lived in New York. Then I went to be Chief Marketing Officer at Sears Holdings in Chicago. And then after that, I sort of retired, but my first consulting job after that was with Bloomberg, and they hired me to be their Chief Marketing Officer, where I stayed for 5 years. In the last year and a half with Bloomberg, I've been working on several projects, including diversity and inclusion, and trying to make sure that we create a more diverse workforce at the company, and that helps lead to better business success. Today is a very different environment. There are all sorts of degrees in marketing that people can do, but quite honestly, when I look for someone to bring into a marketing career, I'm looking for someone who has got an interest in business, an interest in solving problems, and an interest in using their experience or their academic learning, or just their own common sense in solving problems for the business, and it's applying marketing techniques to solve problems for the business, and that's really what it's all about. So I would say that anyone from any environment can actually join a marketing function, and particularly today, it's not about coming from an arts background. In fact, you really need quite a lot of analytical skill to be able to run a marketing function these days, because a lot of it's to do with database marketing and social media, and you have to understand the numbers and where the people are and how you interact with them and engage them in conversations. My advice would be to someone coming to university for the first time is to try and network as much as possible. In my day, I think one of the mistakes I made was I stayed very much in my own little group, so it was people that I had known at school, or people in my immediate circle that I knew because I felt comfortable there, and also people in the arts world because I did a Master of Arts. I would tell myself now to network more with the science students, with the med students, with other faculties, and really get a broader view of what goes on at the university. And that would be, I would say, if I had a regret at all, it was that I didn't do that sufficiently. I stayed within my own comfortable little circle. I think if I were to give myself advice before I graduated, it would be to explore as much as possible. I think I did a certain amount of that, but it took me a long time to have the confidence to do that. So when I say explore, I mean learn from as many different people as you can possibly learn once you've graduated. Encourage yourself to make sure that you're seeing as much of the world as you possibly can before you graduate. So, just take advantage of the opportunities that come along, and they always do come along. And sometimes, we're either too busy to take things on, we're too comfortable to take things on, but just explore and take on as many opportunities as you possibly can, both before you graduate and after you graduate. And I think for me particularly, I would say it took me quite some time before I felt confident enough, even in my work life, even though I got one promotion after another in my early career, because I was a hard worker, probably because at that time opportunity was easier than it is today, to be perfectly honest. But I still don't think that I took full advantage of everything that I could have in terms of just daring that little bit more, just dare to do a little bit more than you feel comfortable with.